the platform of the Action Allowance. Welcome to SaharaTV, Mr. Balogun.
Good day. How are you doing today?
Yeah, very fine. Thank you, sir. Let's start from the last election, the presidential election, which we saw that has raised so many concerns and reactions, especially the non-transmission of results from beavers, which is from the polling unit to the INEC server. Does this in any way raise concern or doubt about?
Actually, the INEC, if you have an existing electoral act, it must be followed duly. And if you have a challenge, you must call the attention of all stakeholders to such a challenge before you go ahead to do different thing that is going to mitigate against the progress of the electoral process. I think it calls for concern, and I think after the election, INEC has started doing so many things on their RF portal, and we don't expect such to happen at the gubernatorial elections. So that's my view.
So let's talk about your campaign since you've expressed your confidence in the Electoral Commission. You've gone around Lagos as expected, you have campaigned in various cities and towns in Lagos states. What what are the things you see during your going around Lagos that are more of pressing concern to you that you think would be one of the things you would handle if elected?
Well, we have a Lagos Invite agenda, and that is what we were able to come up with after studying Lagos for a while. We have been on this project for some time now, and we were able to come up with REBIRTH. That's the code name for our agenda, and all those parts of the agenda is going to be taking care of critical issues that are bedeviling us as a state. Firstly, the restoration of security of lives and property. We have security challenges, we have our solutions embedded in our security agenda. The issue of education and energy. Today, education has been so much more mismanaged in the state. When it's coming down through the secondary school, the primary school, it is so absurd that we have a state that is irresponsive to the plight of the downtrodden. Deliberately, they are not increasing the number of classrooms, the number of schools, so that our children will get to the teenage years and be turned into loud thugs and street urchins because of the overpopulation of pupils or learners in schools. Some of them will not now have to be trans because there will not be good teacher-learner relationship. And before you know it, they start gathering themselves outside the school and engage in their various activities. And that is why today we have multiplicity of thugs in almost all nooks and crannies of the states, and they eventually turn themselves into what we call the street urchins, the area boys, armed robbers, Yahoo guys. Because when you don't have a well-rounded education and you want to survive in this type of economy, just have to do something that will make you have a source of income by cook. And the Lagos State government is enabling such things to continuously happen. And we are looking at building more schools to solve such a problem. Even when they claim there is no money, I think the idea, not when you are bereft of idea, you will not have solution to issues that are of serious concern. The issue of sachetization of projects is something that can actually mitigate in quick uh, time the issue that we are bedeviled with in terms of the overpopulation stuff that is going on in our secondary school. Unfortunately, they are even killing the tertiary institutions in Lagos State. They are converting some type of tertiary institutions that are needed in a cosmopolitan city like Lagos State. Today in Lagos State, you don't have a polytechnic again because the former polytechnic has been converted to a university. The former colleges of education were converted. Instead of you to talk about building more universities, building more polytechnics, because this is a state that we call a mega city because of the population. Population takes you to the status of mega city, and being mega in status through population, you must have mega projects that will accommodate the people that are in that city. Now they are deprived and disenfranchised many Lagosians and residents of Lagos and many people that are willing to come and school in Lagos from having access to continue tertiary education through that act. Sometimes they just take policies that you will be so much ashamed of as Lagosian, that when you have a state that is so much endowed with human resources and financial resources, and you see them taking policies like people that want to run away from responsibilities. Look at the case of the tertiary institution I just mentioned. We are pushing the NUC for approval of more universities. Instead of it to build more universities, we are killing the type of lecturers that are needed in the universities are not the same type of lecturers that are needed in the polytechnics or colleges of education. The number of admissions that will go on at polytechnics and colleges of education are not the same amount of people that can be admitted into the university. Even we talk about courses, and so many factors that are not even looked into, they are just jettisoned and trying to jump because they just want to chase clouds that they have. We have 3 universities in Lagos. We can have much more than 3 universities in a state like Lagos because of the population. And we should have much more polytechnics and much more colleges of education. So if you are venturing into those things, you should be prepared to increase, not killing one for the other. Because in some months' time, some people will be laid off their job because they will not be meeting up with the criteria to be lecturers in many of these new found institutions. And these are side things that is roving through the hair now. It is roving through the hair, and so many people will be affected. See the policy on transportation in a cosmopolitan states like Lagos, a metropolitan state like city. You are not supposed to ban any mode of transportation. You should rather increase opportunities in any mode of transportation that is available, because the more the available means of transportation, the easier transportation from one location to another of the populace will be. But instead, you see them cancelling a mode of transportation because of security issues.
So are you talking about the ban on Okada?
Yes,
Okay.
I am talking about the ban on Okada. It's irresponsible for a government to do such to its citizens, because some devil among men, what we call men of the underworld, they were using that mode of transportation for nefarious activities. Does not actually give you the sense of responsibility as a government to cancel them off, punishing the good ones just because of the activities of the bad ones. Why didn't they stop BRT when a particular driver was caught? And some other people testified that some BRT drivers actually use BRT for nefarious activities too. Why did they not cancel the yellow buses? Because some people were involved in one chance through the yellow buses that we call the downfall. So these things are just, you know, the ripple effect in our economy is that some people will have to go, because this is, I'm a street guy, I'm very close to the downtrodden. I know how it pains and what really happens in the streets there. Immediately they cancel that motorcycle stuff, they banned them. So many people that were doing that as a source of income, they are not able to go to work, they were trying to find new job. The food seller that has restaurants, if you are very conversant with the way these Okada riders eat, they cluster around a particular food seller, like 2 or 3, where they will eat in the morning and possibly late in the night. Those food sellers have to go off job. So they may tell you also they have accident issues with, why not build their own roads? This is how it is done in other climes. You build roads for them. Then if it is security issue, they use for security insecurity measures. Then what we are going to do is deploy technology, put trackers on those commercial motorcycles, so that we can have roads where they can be checked. Immediately they go off track, you can see it, then you can activate alarms. So your security guys, you are going to bring in up new security outfits, not what we have now.
Talking about
And so
security,
many other things like the health sector and so many things. I'll be doing so many things simultaneously.
so let's talk about the security.
Let me quickly talk about our transportation.
Okay.
Yes, I forgot. They are killing us, that are the poor masses, through the non-provision of serious attention to the water transportation mode. That thing we have there they call boats are supposed to be used for fishing. What is supposed to be used to transport human beings are ferries. They are supposed to be invested in by the government and other private people, such that at the end of the day, like when we were preparing ourselves for this job, we had somebody that had to go to Venice in Italy. Venice in Italy is like Lagos. Lagos State is connected through what, like 13 local governments in Lagos State are connected through the waterways. In Venice, the report we have is that if you decide not to use the transportation or the water transportation mode, you may eventually have to trek to where you are going, because there is a limited distance for most of their road transportation models or modes in that country, in that city, Venice of Italy. We should develop our own transportation mode through the waterways too, such that at the end of the day, not everybody will be running through the street and be having a lot of traffic jam here and there. If I become, when I become the governor and they have not started that Fourth Mainland Bridge, we are going to look into it again, because we may not need the Fourth Mainland Bridge. The Fourth Mainland Bridge will cost us billions of naira according to what we have seen on the page of newspaper, and it will eventually lead to many people paying tolls for years again, which is very, very unnecessary. When if we can deploy such an amount to establish a very safe ferry mode of transportation, we spend lesser and will be earning money straight on for private individuals, and the government will be seeing this own money too. So we will not be spending money and be putting problem in the lives of an average Lagosian. You may now ask me, is it going to be safe? Yes, in Venice, for the past 21 years, no singular casualty has happened. But here, where they use boats for fishing, you have casualties almost every 6 months or less than. Where even during a military, in fact, I think there is a festival period last year where a whole family drowned because our waterways are not actually safe because of the mode of transportation that are being used. So these are some of the things. So many things.
So just talking about the waterways, Lagos State has a ferry station, and I think it's the individuals who lives in this community that use the boat, because they have the boat and they can't drop that, so because of the cost of the ferry Lagos City, so they have to deploy their own.
You see, when you talk about government, the hallmark of government or the hallmark of governance generally is to provide comfort, tranquility, and succor to the populace. That is why you are there. You are not there to make yourself rich. You are not there to inflict pains and injuries and be careless or neglect the plight of the people. If the government actually is interested in the life of people that lives in the urban area or people that have to use that mode of transportation, they will open it up for public-private partnership where many people will invest, and all these people that have small boats will be empowered such that at the end of the day they will have a better mode of transportation, and eventually if they have to pay over the years to own one, they have to pay in payslip, and possibly there will be a subsidy for that mode of transportation, so that at the end of the day people that are working through it will be happy using it, not that they will go and bring something that is meant for fishing to be transporting human being, taking a risk because the government is not. And that is why our how in the what's it called, in the rebate agenda that we codenamed, our agenda we codenamed rebate, our how is restoration of security of lives and property. So anything that has to do with saving lives is our number one priority.
So still on the transportation, just to exhaust the transportation before moving on. So, what are your plans for people living in places like Agege, Agbado, Lepo axis?
Yes.
So, what about
Already,
saying,
already we have transportation modes that are operational within such an area. The road transport, like I said, this is a cosmopolitan city, a metropolitan city with a lot of population. Every type of transportation mode that can be used will be opened up for use. Even bicycles. The only thing you need to do for bicycles and what's it called, motorcycles, is to create a road for them so that they can be safe when they are riding their bicycle or they are using their motorcycles. So any type of what's it called, transportation will be open. So people living in all those areas, their major challenge now is banning the type of transportation mode, depriving them. Number two, having traffic jam while going at some very busy hours. And we have solved the issue of traffic jams through our research. We are able to detect that traffic jams are caused by the agency that is supposed to manage traffic. They are not actually doing their jobs effectively. They are all after making money for the government. So they are supposed to be supportive of drivers in case they have challenges so that they can free the road up. But what do we see? Another thing is that major bus stops are being converted to marketplaces, thereby making all the setbacks that are supposed to be used for garages a source of income through making them marketplaces. We are going to create major bus stop and setbacks that the vehicles that are commercial in nature or any vehicle that want to park for transit, we have to go out of the major road into, like, if you are conversant with how Berger was before the tenure of Ambode, you understand what I'm saying better. But if you go to Berger now, any motor that is coming, that is coming has a place they will go. The road is always free. The same thing happened at Oyo, where the governor had to buy off some property and converted it into a major transit hub, where you just park in whatever you are parking your commercial vehicle, so people can apply the road if you don't need to park. But here, what do we have? People parking on the main road because they want to drop off a passenger or pick up a passenger. These are the things we'll be doing for them to ease. Then the railway lines will be activated. We are not talking about the political railway now that will be commissioned and will not be in use for the past how many weeks, and they have commissioned it. I can't even fathom how you are commissioning the railway. Like, trains are meant to take people as a mass transit that will take a lot of people from one point to another point that is of a long distance journey, not the short distance between Marina and my two that they went to commission. Even if they will commission a train, if this government will commission a train between Marina and my two, and it took them like 12 years to complete, we are now imagining, and the remaining part that is on paper covers more distance than what they have covered in the last 12 years. That means we are in for it. And the same type of distance, sorry, the same type of rain at very long distance was done in another country with cheaper amount and at a faster period. That shows you ineptitude. So we know why we are gunning for these seats.
so
We
let
should dislodge them, make people that are ready to serve come on board, so we can move on with our Lagos, the Lagos of old, the Lagos of the present, and the Lagos of the future.
So let's look at security architecture of Lagos before we round up. Everywhere you turn to, you see a form of security operative, traffic police, we have the neighborhood, we have IRS. But Lagos as it is looks unsecured. We have thieves robbing people that even police are unable to respond. So how do you intend to revamp the security architecture of the state?
We have a model of security, and what we know about security is that for you to secure anything, you must expend more than the value of what you are securing, such that the person that wants to take the risk of robbing you of what you are keeping or securing will have to jettison the idea, because it will be like a waste of time. If you want to secure something like that cost 50 naira with 500 naira, that person that wants to use 500 naira to steal 50 naira will see it as not viable enough to venture into. We are not doing well at all in terms of security. We have security trust fund. If you have a security trust fund and you are still having poor security network in Lagos, that shows you there is a very, very big problem, because a model that is not working should be reworked. We are going to be creating a security outfit. I'm an advocate of state police, and because the state police has not been fully approved, we are going to be creating our own security outfit that may not bear ammunition, but they will do two things for the Nigerian police that bear ammunition, so that when there is a synergy with them, the Nigerian police will be very active and nip in the bud so many of the security threats that will eventually materialize.
So
We
when you
are
say
going to be
create,
talking about
when you say create a new security outfit,
outfit, yes.
so are you jettisoning we have the neighborhood, we have the RS in Lagos, we,
RS is for RS is part of Nigerian police.
then we have the neighborhood,
The
Lagos
neighborhood is
neighborhood,
what is created in Lagos,
Lagos
and
State.
we are going to recreate them.
Okay.
We are going to reform them. We are going to manage them better and give them what they are supposed to. What they are doing is not policing. They are not doing policing. In security, we have three layers from our own model. We have the vigilance model, the vigilance layer, where all those people that are supposed to be working with neighborhood, that we don't know the name of their outfit, when we get into office, we'll be opening that up. They will be at the vigilance level, and they will not work for more than 6 hours a day. They will have to shift base at every 6 hours, such that Lagos will be under surveillance, will be under vigilance for 24 hours. So at the end of, as of today, when people rob you in daylight, nobody is going to talk. People look away. Why? Because who is paying them for taking such a risk? But the state will have people that will be paid officially for being vigilant, and at the end of the day, those people will be in streets too, where they will be able to identify flashpoints and give information to those that can apprehend them easily. So it will make the work of the police to be what? To be easier. After the vigilance step, we are going to be talking about the surveillance layer. The surveillance layer is where we are going to deploy patrol vehicles, use what we call CCTV camera and other gadgets, where people can actually monitor activities of those that are in vigilance and those that will be a criminal, or that are criminally minded. Hope you are getting. So the surveillance will now give the opportunity for us to nip some things in the bud, and the proactive unit will have lesser job to do. You know, before people carry out, or what's it called, attacks, the criminally minded, we have a base where they meet, we have a mode at which they gather themselves. So the surveillance part will not, the vigilance part will raise alarm. The surveillance part will come around to check if the alarm that was raised was not false, and they will network with the proactive arm, which is the Nigerian police, which we are going to be giving special allowance for working with Lagos State. We're giving special welfare packages, so that immediately they are called, it will be a spontaneous response. And because their job is not be as much as how it was before. Before, they are going to be the vigilance, they are going to be at the working as the surveillance place, they will be driving patrol vehicle here and there. They are not supposed to do that. When we do our job, we will pay other people to do that. So the major job they will do come around, round them up wherever they are gathering, to take them to the appropriate quarters for litigation and punishment. So with this, like, you know, all these small thieves and big thieves, when they know that you have spent so much money to secure your environment, they will not even come around there, but they may travel to other states or nearby country or anywhere, but they will not be free to operate in Lagos. And the Lagos state government is enabling them, like I said. They are not giving us opportunity to large number of classrooms in schools. So those children kept on multiplying out of school, and they kept on looking for a way to survive. You know, when you have a population that is more than the resources, there will be what we call survival of the fittest. And that is why we have almost every now and then a very gentle and calm child from home immediately after primary school. If he mistakenly goes to our public secondary school by GSS 3, he's already turning into, in fact, you sometimes you even hear people say, and this boy was not like that before, this girl was not like. So these are what we've seen, and the government is not ready to change their ways. That's why we are contesting against them, and that is why I'm not stepping down for anybody.
So briefly, very briefly, can you just give us a peek into your agenda for the health sector?
On the health sector, we are going to be looking at three layers of the health management system. We want to look at the primary health security challenge, the secondary health security challenge, and the tertiary health security challenge. We are looking at a situation where every ward, like 200 and something wards we have in Lagos, are going to be having at least a primary health center, at least one primary health center, depending on the size of the population of those communities. Like I told you earlier, overpopulation makes facilities to be stressed out. So there are some local government or some wards that need more than one primary health center. We are going to be looking at that. Then we are going to be looking at building at least one general hospital in every local government. Then we are going to be looking at building more specialist hospital for. Then we are going to be looking at, one thing we designed recently is for Lagosians to have access to subsidized, highly subsidized, uh, what we call cancer screening, annual cancer screening. Because we, in recent time, we were able to see that many people died of cancer because they never knew they had tendency of the cancer, what's it called, the cancerous stuff within their system. If they had known through test, so many cancer patients will survive. According to what we did with our experts in the health sector, they told us that many cancer patients died because this cancer has spread beyond the place it started, because the patient did not even know he had cancer. So when we are able to subsidize the test, and it is mandated for many people to go and do cancer test as a subsidized this annually once in a year, then I think we are going to be doing so much in that sector. We are looking at the issue of people having to die because of these when they have kidney issues. When many people died I have a friend that survived it anyway because he had to run out of Nigeria. And when he got to where he was going, the dialysis that he was paying for heavily in Nigeria was made free when they got to America. And through dialysis, they were able to continuously evacuate the leftovers within the system, such that at the end of the kidney was not overworking itself. And at the time, the person became, because the cost of doing dialysis will run them down. And at the end of the day, because there is no intervention anywhere, they will go back home and die. These are issues they can't, no.
So let's just ask, when do you intend to get the funds to
You see,
run all of this?
one of those things we have been able to make research on is that we have a lot of leakages in Lagos, and these leakages are going to individuals' pockets. Another thing we are able to identify is that we have so many agencies that are ready to support various sectors. Like the UNESCO will support you on your education stuff. The United Nations will also support you on your health sector. But the agencies are fearful these days. Look at what happened during our challenge of coronavirus in Lagos. We all know what happened. How do you explain that you discharge close to 11,000 people within 2 days because there was no more funding from the foreign donors? This is something that is very absurd. This is something that is putting us in bad light out there. When people see that you have trustworthy people, even Nigerians that are wealthy, they will donate into what we can call our health trust fund, health security trust fund. We are going to bring in such an idea of health security trust fund. We are going to be exploring more this issue of Lashman that we call insurance scheme, where many people will understand that they have to insure themselves through the health sector. And you know, when you have these insurance schemes, it's not everybody that will be falling sick almost at the same time. So we will be having opportunity. Then we have philanthropists, individuals that will be ready to donate many of these machines. When they know if they bring them to Nigeria, it will be operational. It is not that somebody will eventually convert it to his personal use or take it somewhere just for campaign purposes. So we are talking about a government that really wants to do things for his people, that knows that the shoe pinches a whole lot and people are really suffering. I'm from the downtrodden, so I relate with them almost every now and then. So I can see all these things, I can feel them, and I've had the opportunity for 2 good years to be under the tutelage of late Latin Jakande. It owed us that the hallmark of governance is provision of comfort, tranquility, and succor to the populace. That any leader that wants to succeed, because we asked him, why did you succeed during your tenure? Why are all these people that came after you not succeeding? He said, if you lack two things as a leader, you can never be successful in governing the populace. He said, you must have the willpower. You must actually mean what you say. You must be ready and be willing to do what you are telling people you want to do. And you must have contentment. And if you are not contented with the resources that have been provided for you by the budget, because there's no governor and other aides and other people that works in the cabinet that don't have budget provisions. If you are not contented with that, the budget provision for the masses now that is supposed to be used to do things for the masses will be usurped, embezzled, and at the end of the day, what happens? You'll be having kleptomaniacs in the system, people that are rich but still want to steal from others, and that is what we have been seeing here and there, and that is why they have not been succeeding. It's not that the money is not actually there the way they present it to us. We have studied it and we know the money is there,
So,
and more money will come through various channels that we are going to be providing.
so finally, what is your message to the people as they go to the polls to vote? And if peradventure you did not emerge as the winner, if peradventure you did not emerge as the winner, will you be willing to work with the next administration?
Definitely, I would be willing to contribute my quota to the development of Lagos State under the ambience of sincere commitment. I'm not like somebody told me I should step down, I should be looking at getting commission. I said, I'm not stepping down for anybody. I'm going through this post. If I'm going to lose, let me go and lose willingly. Don't coerce me to support a government that has not done well. And if they have been doing well, somebody like me may not be interested in contesting this election. So we are contesting against them because they are not doing well. So if they call for our support, intellectual support, and other capacities we can use to support them to achieve in sincerity what we have been talking about, why not? It's for the masses. They will give us the leeway to do it, not that they will gaggle us or use us as a tunnel to siphon money, because we are not going to be agreeing to that. So, but if it is for them to provide the needed resources for us to implement what will be useful for the masses in general. I'm going to be very, very available. And my message to the voters is go out there to challenge the status quo. They are winnable. Your votes will count. And if the rule is followed, the person with the highest number of valid vote cast will be pronounced winner. Make Tope Balogun the next governor of Lagos State through the ballot, through your votes, by voting for me in mass. And at the end of the day, we are going to be emancipating ourselves from the shackles of our traducers and be having a new order in Lagos. Be moving away from the old order of mismanagement to a new order of compassion and prosperity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tope Abdulrazak Balogun, Lagos State governorship candidate under the platform of the Action Alliance.
Thank you.